Tell us a little bit more about some of the issues you see and how you plan to go about making Noblesville a better place.
Yeah. So, going back to my 4 pillars, number 1 was public safety. I really feel like you can't have any other goals until everyone feels safe.
Okay. What do you mean by public safety exactly?
I mean having adequate police, fire, and paramedics. I mean that when you call the police station, they're there as soon as possible, right? They're there to diffuse the situation. You have low crime rates. You have low homicide rates. You can look to Indianapolis for poor examples of that currently, and that has to do with leadership. Yeah. And I think people at the leadership, in the government leadership level, need to take accountability for that kind of stuff. Yeah. And so crime rates and homicide rates directly reflect on the mayor and the city council. Sure. And so I would take that personally. I want to make sure that police and fire, 40% of our budget goes toward police and fire. Okay. And I want to always make sure they're well funded. Yeah. Yeah. And
do you guys have enough police per capita and firemen per capita currently?
Well, we're hiring 5 more police and I think 3 more firefighters this year. Will get us up to where we currently are. So there's 70,000 people in Noblesville. Okay. But like I said, we're scheduled to double in the next 10 years. So we need to go ahead and be proactive and hire more police, hire more firemen, and paramedics.
It's the only way you stay ahead of it.
Yeah. We want to stay ahead of it because I want those response times to be minimal. So it's making sure they have the best technology, the best equipment, that they have up-to-date things. They will always get full support from me. Yeah. I'm always going to vote to spend more money on them, even if we have to move things around. So that's number 1, public safety. I feel like you have to feel safe in your community. I've lived in Noblesville 16 years, and I could have slept every night with my door unlocked. I haven't, just out of habit, but I've never had...
Make it a knock at the middle of the night now.
I've never had any issues. Knocking on wood right now. Yeah. And so it's that kind of safety. You feel comfortable, right? And you can, you feel like you're a part of a safe place, right? And so people don't want to lose that as you grow, as more people come in. And statistically, it may go up. That's just the way it is. Yeah. But let's be proactive in planning for that. How do we, let's hit it head on. Yeah. Besides that, we really have a lack of affordable housing. So right now you've got inflation, you've got the market. If you're in real estate, you probably know that there's minimal houses to choose from. And so a lot of these cities are going to these mixed-use developments. They've got retail space, they've got apartments, they've got lease to own, they've got these little townhouses, all trying to get people into these downtown locations for supporting small business and shopping and eating and all that stuff. But I heard this figure the other day. You can't build in Hamilton County brand new construction under, for like a residence, single family home under $300,000. Like $300,000. There's people that can't even get in the market. Yeah. And you think about millennials and Gen Z that have been staying in apartments or living at home with their parents, trying to save up money. Maybe they're paying off student loans. How are they ever going to get into the housing market? Like they're just going to be renting the rest of their lives. Right. Is what it sounds like. And then you've got boomers that are starting to retire, and maybe they want to downsize. Yeah. But how did they go from a house that they're going to turn around and sell and make a profit on to now an apartment, a single bedroom apartment, $1,500 a month? My mortgage is less than that. Yeah. Why are you paying $1,500 a month for a single bedroom apartment, right?
Those are some pretty damn nice apartments, though.
I mean, they're nice. They got cool amenities, right? You got your gym and your restaurant and your bingo and all that
pool,
stuff. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
But seriously, again, going back to people, like I don't want to leave people behind. I don't want people living in their cars now because the cost of everything has gone up.
Do you feel like they have to? Because I look at that and it's like, okay, well, do you have to earn living in a nice place? Like, does it? Because there is Indianapolis, right? You could go to Greenfield. You could go to Avon and probably build less than that. And if you really want to live in Hamilton County, cool. You just gotta work your tail off. I mean that.
Or get the right opportunity. It's
right.
Yeah. It's like. But that's what we're running into. There's people having to live in Madison County, Marion County, surrounding counties, and then commute in to work a retail job, making $15 an hour maybe. Yeah. And it's like they can't afford to live here, but they can work here. Yeah. So Noblesville does have like Section 8, Section 42 income-based housing.
Oh, really? Okay.
So there's other cities, Carmel, that don't have those amenities for people in those pay brackets, right? And so it's how do we address every socioeconomic group? I don't think that an area should push people out just because they're in a different, socioeconomic class.
Sure. But do you think that opening that up to more socioeconomic groups can cause more, issues as well?
Well, I mean, so if we look at data, it's a possibility. I did a ride along with the police in Noblesville. I do understand that some of our lower, housing income-based, apartments and housing, that is where a lot of the police calls occur.
Sure.
Right? But I don't want to stereotype people and just assume just because you can't afford X amount of dollar house or an apartment that, you're, a juvenile or you should be incarcerated.
Well, and that's where leveling the playing field comes in, right? Because if it costs, let's just say $60,000 a year to live in Carmel, pay for groceries, and have a minimal car payment, which is usually what people need to commute, especially in a suburban area. You're not riding your bike everywhere. You have to be able to drive. So if, you don't have to have a nice car. You don't have to have a friggin' Maserati or G-Wagon like, West Carmel does. But you need something that's reliable. So let's say, moderate car payment, a mortgage of $1,000, $1,500 a month, which you can't even get right now, without a big down payment. So there is that. You level the playing field as far as the income goes. If you work in Hamilton County, you should also be able to live in Hamilton County. So how do we get everybody to making, what the minimum amount is to be able to live here? Because, one of the big problems I was talking about with Scott was that we have, our Westfield policemen. Most of them cannot afford, without, being independently wealthy or having a spouse maybe that makes more money, they can't afford to live in Hamilton County. And I don't know about you, but I'd love to have my Westfield police officers living down the street from me, and have them not only working in the community, but being a part of that community as well, because then they're going to care about it more too. So being able to make sure that, especially like service employees, are able to live where they work, so they can be a part of that community if they choose to be. Right? You don't want to force them to be here. If they want to, but. Yeah. So I guess, not to cut you off there, but I feel like that's where leveling the playing field really comes into play.
C is community.
Okay.
So I believe community involvement is key.
Okay.
I feel like you don't have a leg to stand on to complain about things if you're not willing to get in and make it change. Roll up your sleeves, get to work, serve, volunteer. And so I'm going to push for community involvement.
Okay.
We have a lot of things to do. You can entertain yourselves like we've been talking about. You got amenities like restaurants and places to shop, and you've got entertainment, sports, and concerts at, I call it Deer Creek, right?
Klipsch, Deer Creek.
Ruoff.
Is it Ruoff right now? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
There's some cool concerts coming there this summer.
But, I mean, besides being entertained, you also need to grow up at some point and give back, right?
Yeah.
So, I think about, like from a biblical perspective, it's like when I was a child, I thought as a child, I reasoned as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. And so I can't just be entertained. I just can't be a consumer my whole life.
Right.
At some point, I need to get involved.
Man, most people do that into their 40s nowadays. Isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah, I turned 40 this year.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm raising my hand.
There you go.
I'm getting in the fight.
Yeah.
I'm going to serve. I'm going to push other people to do it. And to steal a quote from JFK, ask not what your community can do for you, but what you can do for your community.
Yeah.
So there you go. I just
re-quote it.
There you go. Re-quoted it.
That's a Nick Gomillion quote now.
That's right. There you go. So community.
Yeah.
That's really what I'm pushing for. And the fourth one was kindness that we talked about, kind of leading as an example of kindness, listening to people first before jumping to conclusions, assuming positive intent from my neighbors, not just labeling people and pushing them to the side.